I'm currently walking in my backyard and I was like, let's take the camera and let's film this video in a different setting than what I've been doing in the last couple of weeks. And since it's a new start of the month, I really want to talk about the month of March, because it's going to be a month, or at least the signs that I'm getting myself, the things that I feel that others have been channeling as well, is that this month is a month for transformation, a month for change, a month for building blocks, or a month for stepping up your game, building the foundations of what it is that you've wanting to manifest, that you've been wanting to achieve this year. And so in this video I'm going to be diving deep with you in how you can do that, and not am I going to tell you how to do it, I'm going to show you some rituals. I'm going to take you into my home, we're going to sit down together and we're going to write cord cutting letters in order to release and clear the crap that we need to clear in order to align ourselves with this new version of us that has been emerging this month. And then we'll be going to set our intentions. We're going to be focusing on the intentions and the energy, setting the energy for the month to come. So if that's something that you feel ready for, then stay around. How does it feel to be alive, to be free? Are we truly in the here and now, or are we living a dream that we created? Close your eyes to see clearly. This is life on purpose. Welcome inside our cozy, tiny ski apartment where we don't have much, but everything we need and absolutely love. Plus we have a lot of toys, as you can see. Before we start this ritual, we actually need to make sure that our space is clear, uncluttered and clean, so that we can focus on this entire process. And if you love it, put on some soothing music for your soul. That's what I'm doing. And as you can see, the returning podcast was pretty much there. Cheesy, but I had to squeeze it in there. And for those of you who were wondering what that photo was on the wall, it's the one I took last summer in Bali at the famous place Uluwatu. Next, we need to actually grab some journals. I use one for my cord cutting letter and one manifestation journal for after that. You saw I was pretty satisfied. And of course, we need to make sure that the ambience is set. If you want, you can burn some candles if you're like me to set the energy, change the lights and create a sacred space. And burn lots and lots of sage or incense or Palo Santo if you have it. Alright, so before we're going to set our intentions for this month, what we're going to do within this ritual, what I love to do, and maybe because I love it, I thought perhaps, or most probably you guys will love it too, I'm going to write a cord cutting letter. And for those of you who are new to cord cutting letters, I've spoken about this in some other videos. A cord cutting letter is symbolic for letting go of certain situations, belief systems, people maybe, who are no longer serving you for your highest good. And sometimes in order to release that energy, what we do is write a cord cutting letter. Why a cord cutting letter? It's because basically, when we look to our energetic field, sometimes or oftentimes we get entangled with other energy objects or other energy, other people's energies, other energy of a belief system, a certain situation, and quite literally we attach these energy cords to that situation. Or sometimes people or things attach their energy towards us. Now, I want to say, before we're going to blame anyone who is attached to our energy, we are the ones who allow that to happen. It cannot happen without our consent, without our permission, and often people are not even aware of doing it. And so maybe we're not even aware of that, giving that consent. But if we can feel that there is something that is popping into our mind often, a certain person, a certain belief, then sometimes it means that we're simply attached towards that thing. We're entangled. Our energy is entangled with that thing. And how can we release that entanglement is through writing a cord-cutting letter. I want to say that setting your intention is really underestimated in how powerful that is. And in writing a cord-cutting letter, the most important thing is that your intention is to release that thing. But before we're going to write it, there are a couple of things that I'm going over that are important to incorporate into that letter. So how that works is actually, for me, I'm just going to tear a page out of this book, because what sometimes happened is when I actually wanted to burn or tear this page out in order to burn it at the end of this ritual, I tore the whole page apart, which is fine because it's something that I wanted to release anyways. It was not intentions or all that kind of stuff, but yeah, that works better for me. So once you've done that, you can actually start writing it. Whenever you're writing this letter, it is important that you write down, you're literally stating in your letter, I'm ready to cut cords with ... This could be a belief system, this could be a person, this could be a situation that is no longer serving you for your highest good. What you can do, and that's what I usually do, is basically I'm writing down everything that I want to write down. This is like automatic writing. It's writing down anything, any association, anything that has felt like a challenge towards me. Maybe I can write down, if it's a person, a way that I felt in some situation, whether that's their fault or your thoughts, or most probably a combination of both. You can write all these things down, and you don't have to worry about manifesting more of it, because the intention of this letter is to let this go. Now, the most important thing for writing a cord-cutting letter, you cannot let go of cords whenever you've not learned the lesson. And that's what you will find. If you have not learned the lesson, then you're unable to let go of it, and this thing will be unable to work. So the number one thing that you have to do is you have to state thank you, basically, for this lesson that I've learned. And not only are you going to say this lesson, but actually the lesson, and explaining, writing down the lesson that you've actually learned from this person, from this belief system, from this situation. And that's what you're going to write down. And then afterwards, whatever you feel that needs to be forgiven, you're going to state that. So if it's a person, a belief system, yourself, most probably both. It's a thing and then yourself. So first, you're honestly and deeply, with compassion and love, forgiving, releasing that person, that situation, that belief too, from your attachment. So you're forgiving that thing, and then you forgive yourself, for example, for doing the best that you could, but not knowing that there was something better for you out there, or whatever this is. And it has to be genuine. If you cannot feel like you're ready to release or to forgive a person or a situation, then you're not going to be able, again, to let go of this thing. And a way of how to make forgiving easier, because sometimes I get that some things are really hard to forgive. But one thing that makes forgiving easier is to think about what the impact is that it has on you if you hold on to this. Because ultimately, for example, I think relationships and people are the most difficult to forgive. If you can see that if you hold on to the situation, it is going to be negatively affecting your life. And especially because when you not let go of these energies, it is actually your karma that has effect on you. So whenever you let go and forgive someone else, by doing that, you're also setting yourself free. And then they don't have that grip over you anymore, this situation, this person, this belief. And so this is why forgiving is so deeply healing and liberating for you on your path. And it's necessary to let go first before you set intentions, because you cannot build on some structures that are not how do you say that are like wobbly and misaligned. So we need to make sure that we first cleanse our energy and like burn lots of sage while doing this. If you have sage, if you have Santo Paulo, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, I love the smell of this, by the way, then do that. You can burn lots and lots and lots of sage, especially while you're writing this letter. And after you're writing this letter, I'm actually going to give you a bit of time to do that. You can press pause. We're going to dive into the next step of this ritual, which is the second step basically. This ritual has 3 steps, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So press pause if you want to, or keep watching if you want to do this in a later stadium. I'm going to press pause because I'm going to write the letter now. And don't forget to burn lots and lots of sage while you are doing this, because you are releasing a lot at this point. And sage really, really helps to cleanse your energy. As you can see, when I finished writing this letter, I read it once more to see if there was still missing anything. If it's complete, then it's time for the second part of this ritual. So if you have finished writing your letter, what I usually do is I read it again and I really, really, really feel into it. And maybe you feel that a lot of emotions will come up, and that's okay. You can allow that to come up. It's a safe space, it's a sacred space, it's time to let go. So whenever you're letting go of something, sometimes it can be hurtful, because silly enough, even if you're letting go of something that was not serving you, sometimes it's emotional to let go of it. For me this time, I actually felt already like I've already done a lot of work to let go of these things, so I don't feel super emotional. But sometimes I'm just overly emotional, and that's okay. That's the whole purpose of this, to release all of that, because you've been carrying that with you for so long, and now it's time to let that go and to step into the version of you who is free, who is liberated from these things, and who can move forward with ease and flow and grace. So if you've written your letter, you have truly forgiven yourself and others and situations and belief systems, and you've learned the lessons, then it's time to burn this letter. Now, it's important that you do this in a place where you're not going to burn down your house, okay? This is not advice, like if anyone is burning something of that, I'm not saying that you should burn down your house, okay? So do this maybe outside or in a space where it's safe. You're not going to burn other things as we do it. I'm going to burn it in this shell, and for here, that's absolutely fine. That's good enough. That's always worked for me. So I'm going to fold this letter now into a smaller piece. Otherwise, it's going to be too big. And then I'm going to burn it. And while you're burning it, I want you to look at how this letter is burning. Do you need to reinforce it to burn? What kind of smoke? How fast does it burn? All these types of things can symbolize how much work you've already done or how ready you are to actually release it. And again, take that with a grain of salt, but for me that's always it's pretty accurate for me. So that's what we're going to do now. Find a safe space to do it, and really watch this thing burn. Really watch this thing to go up in flames. And I always feel that watching that burn is just so cleansing. It's so symbolic and beautiful. And fire in specifically is very much cleansing. A lot of people do fire meditations. They literally look into a flame, and that way they cleanse a lot of the negativity, a lot of the low vibrations, that they've been carrying.
As you can see, there is a lot of smoke, and so I really had to open a window and the door in order to bring some fresh air and oxygen inside.
So now that you've done that, you've cleared the energy, it's time to set intentions. And I love to do that in a special book just because it makes it feel more special, more official. It doesn't have to be. You can set intentions on just a piece of paper or the same book as you've frozen your cord cutting letter in. I just like to do it this way because it feels more special to me. So when you are setting intentions, really specifically focus on the feeling of what it would give you if you achieved that. So it's always about the feeling. With manifestation, with law of attraction, with the law of assumption, to be fair, it's all quite similar. It's always about the feeling. It's about the emotion that you are vibrating, the clarity of that emotion and the intensity of that motion that you are vibrating in that moment, and the signals that you're putting out to the universe. That's what it's about. And it's about being clear on what exactly in detail. So whatever you would love to achieve, whether that's peace or freedom or love or financial abundance, make sure that you write this down specifically. So how specifically would this look like? How would this feel like? And then that is what you want to focus on. And so what you can do, you can literally, there are no rules in this. You can set your intention, you can write them down. I love to write them down just because it makes it more specific. For me, putting a thought onto paper and really have to think about each word that I'm writing down, really make sure that it's specific, it's detailed, and it's exactly how I would love to feel. That's my intention. So yeah, if you want to pause the video and do that, then that's what you can do. That's what I'm going to do now. And once you have finished your intentions, that's basically the end of this whole ritual. So I really want to thank you for being here with me during this whole ritual. I know that it could be really intense. So especially thank yourself for sitting down, for being honest with yourself, for being vulnerable, for being intimate with yourself, and just allowing yourself that space to release anything that needs to be released. It's really such a powerful ritual that I always feel really immediately gives me space within my energy, within my being and emotion, and I can always feel the difference before and after I've written a cord cutting letter. I want to also share with you that I've actually I filmed an episode of cutting cords with anyone. It's a really quick, easy technique that's inspired by Gabby Bernstein. Also, this ritual is inspired by Elizabeth April, who taught me to do this. So I really want to mention that as well. And what else? Thank you for watching this video. Of course, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was useful to you. I'm really excited for you for what's going to happen this month, because this month is all about your change, about building blocks, about manifesting, materializing, or actually making the first steps into materializing what it is that you want. So whatever you've now written down, know that it is going to be your reality, because what you focus on is what's going to manifest. It has to. And
Thank you so much for liking this video and for sharing this video with anyone who you think could benefit from this message right now. This year, I'm making it my mission to bring this message to as many people as possible. So if you share this video, that could absolutely help out in sharing this message. Like I said, we rise by lifting others. And of course, if you're new here and haven't already subscribed to the channel, remember to do so, as you will be the first to watch all of my videos every Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so that you can create your best life. Remember, we have such an exciting future to look forward to, even if it doesn't seem like it right now. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Bye for now.